Hello everybody, nice to have you here. There was a break between the videos. I was a bit busy for other stuff, but today I want to show you something interesting. By the reason it's not something very obvious you usually think about, but we will talk today about the Adobe App Builder again, and with use cases, what you want to do if you want to build Adobe Builder single page application, SPA, and you want to share it with somebody and have an all nice URL so you can, I would not say have a website, which is technically also possible, but some kind of small application or some URL with some set of features so that you can then send it or share, and then your users can open it and work with it. So because usually if you're working with Adobe Commerce Builder, you have auto-generated URL and there's no native option to change it. So the URL is always provided in a fixed format with code or name of your application inside, but it's Adobe one. So today we will touch something interesting. And as I asked Adobe sometime in the past, that's not an, I would say that's not officially supported feature, and it's currently in the backlog, I hope so. But you already can do it, and I want to show you how. I mean, it's quite easy and it's much easier than I first expected. And honestly, the solution is very obvious. Before I will proceed, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you like it. And if not, I will be happy to hear from you. What can I do better? So yes, let's start straight away. So let's start with creating the new Builder application. And let's call it own URL SPA2 because the SPA1 I already have. Which is quite standard process. You don't need to worry about anything specific. What I want to do, I want to have the Builder application with URL, and I will still want to go through this process. So if you see the first time how the new Builder application been created, you can follow. So yeah, we already have it. Then we go into our console. We check in where we are located. We are on previous one I tested. So let's run IO console project select, and let's choose our URL SPA2. Let's select workspace select. Let it be staging, and then let's do IO app init. So we just want to create the new application, which have to be just a blueprint one. That's just a standard process of creating the new or initializing the new Builder application, which pre-generates you two actions, backend and frontend. So you'll have single page application and one backend action you want to call. So let me just show you how it looks like. Okay, and after the app is initialized, we can have a look. It's generated a bunch of files, and what we can do, we just want to deploy it. So we have the URL and we have application. So what we want to try, we want to open this URL, this one. So not this one because it's open in Experience Console. We want to open usually the URL which you want to share with your customer, right? And while opening it, we have a single page application. We have the application which have some action. You can select like one of them, generic publish events. If you want to go more or if you want to know more, I would send you to do it yourself and discover the code. But yeah. So, and now what is our goal is, by the way, if you will now invoke the action, we will see this error for one, because the action is not authorized because you opened it not within the Experience Console. If you'll open this URL, then action will be green because you have all authorization headers there. But here there are no, because it's just a direct URL. Now we want to change this URL. What we will use for that? We will use for that Fastly. So the Fastly has the possibilities to use the multiple backends. And in our case, usually, we're working with Adobe Commerce Cloud projects. And Adobe Commerce Cloud will have the Fastly out of the box. Even if, let's say, you will watch this video a bit in the future when there are only EDS projects around for Adobe Commerce, there still high probably will be the Fastly configuration. And if you're using the Adobe hosted CDN, then you have a proxy functionality there or backend functionality there. But today I'll show you an example of the standard Fastly configuration for Adobe Commerce. If you have your own CDN solution, they all provide approximately the same functionality. So unfortunately, I need to blend out the URL because every Adobe Commerce Cloud has, like, it have to be client related. I don't have anyone in production mode for myself, just I can play around with Fastly on it. But what do we expect? So for example, you have the URL magento.com, whatever. And then you want to have the custom URL or some URL magento.com/your application. And by this URL, you will see this one, this taupe-alpaca application. So to do it, you need to go to your Fastly configuration. And then you go into Fastly config. And then you go to backend here. In standard, you have only one backend, which is pointed to Adobe Commerce Cloud. You always can create a new one and define in it hostname. So let's take this hostname, which been generated by your deployments from Adobe Runtime, and edit. And then what are we doing? We're defining here the name. Let it be a builder. All other more or less standard. We not modify anything here except override host setting, which have to be defined by the same domain name. It's needed that the host of the headers is correctly transferred to a builder, otherwise it will not work. And that's it. Let's save it. By the way, you see there is a condition, and very often you can define condition when this backend is loaded. We are not doing it here. We will do it a bit later. So at this moment, we're just creating the new backend. And then one more action we need to do, we need to create a custom VTL snippet. So we even need to make, no, we need to make only one, basically. Yes. So, I have it a bit prepared already, so don't be surprised. Let's call it a builder routing. Very important part. You need to define the lowest priority, like the highest priority for it, because you have to resolve first before all other requests which is going to CDN be resolved. So you first need to validate if this request is legitimate to run a builder, and if not, then just fall back to standard implementation. And then your code will look approximately like that. So you define here the backend. The backend, it's always your app name, which you defined before, or your backend name, sorry, and then prefix f underscore. If you don't know your backend, or if you forgot the correct one, what you can do, you can go to config, tools, and then you can list all versions of the VTL you have. And then you can see it and you will find your backend there. Just look for backend and you will find it here. So that was created one. So yeah, that's the way you define in the backend if some condition is met. So in our case, everything which is related to a builder, which is WebSRC, which is Adobe Clean for fonts, if I'm not mistaken, the logo for logo. If you have anything custom there, like custom URLs, custom style sheets, some paths within your code source folder, you need to define them here. Otherwise, they will be resolved to standard Adobe Commerce installation. And here it will be resolved to Adobe App Builder. And then we define, so that's, let's say, for the media assets and for static content. And then we define if our URL/a builder been called with whatever is coming afterwards. We also resolving the builder as a backend and defining the base URL. So then we created the snippet. Then we need to upload the VTL snippet to Fastly. And after it's done, we can just give it a try. We open our URL and here it is. So we have our custom URL / a builder in our case, and Yep, you have everything here. You can now share it, send to your friend, to your dog, to your wife, to your husband, to whoever else. And yeah, so it's still, let's say, all backend actions require Adobe Auth set to true. Means if you wanna share it with somebody, so you have two options. First of all, you're doing all actions require Auth false, means they're not secured. Means everybody can do whatever he wants with it. So please don't put there any sensitive data. The second point is you add in the authorization layer. It can be Adobe MS, can be SSO, can be whatever else, so to access the actions. But you need to take care about this yourself, but that has nothing to do with custom URLs. You need to do it in any case if you want to have page accessible globally. And that's it. So it's done quite easily with a Fastly configuration, as you saw. Yeah. If you like the video, I will encourage you to subscribe and leave a comment for any questions you have. I hope it will be possible in the future with native Adobe feature, just to change the DNS, maybe add the certificate and so on. But as you see, it's not too critical for now. You need to take care about the whole web source data have to be whitelisted within your Fastly configuration. You can also use any other CDN. So yeah, have fun and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.